Marriage wasn't supposed to be like this. But when you find someone you love and support, and that person lifts you to unbelievable heights, there's nothing that you can't achieve. Matt and Lindsay Helm are dealing with beating the odds in the only way they know how, by ignoring them. You see, in their world, attitude is everything. They turn obstacles into opportunities. And while hurdles may create a bumpy ride, their affection for each other only grows with each passing day. But it wasn't long ago that they were strangers.
So we actually went to high school together, but I was a year ahead of him, and so we never really said more than hi in the hallway. We knew each other through sports.
Too cool for school.
He was Mr. Quarterback, and I played soccer and rugby. Went to college, did our thing, came back home, and then they just opened up a gym nearby, and we both had actually joined that gym. And so I might have stalked him a little bit at the gym.
I'd be doing my little thing on the treadmill and working out, and I'd see this girl in the background kind of hovering and looking at Matt, and he'd be kind of looking at her, and they'd be talking and this and that. I'd be like, oh, you know, Matt, something's going on here. And he'd be like, no, you know, we're just friends.
He actually took me up on my offer to go to a concert, which ended up being our first date on Valentine's Day.
It was kind of fun watching it happen, you know, watching the little flirtation going on back and forth, and I'm trying to act like I'm working out, and I'm trying to spy on him, because you know, as a mom, you're like, you know, wanting to know who he's looking at, who he's talking to, and
it was pretty cool. It's a good match, and we couldn't be happier.
They couldn't be more perfect for each other. They're both very gregarious and outgoing and fun-loving and goofy. They're always laughing, and they make light of the toughest situations, and they're just fun.
The first time I met him was basically standing right there, and I was looking for some innocuous question, and I said, I know you play baseball. I said, how tall are you? He said, I'm 5'12". I said, oh my God, what did she bring home this time?
We loved him. We loved him from day one.
We did love him from day one, but that's the truth.
Through the following months, Matt and Lindsay got engaged, then married, and welcomed Hunter into the world on August 2nd, 2014. Just in time for the family's yearly trip to the Outer Banks over Labor Day weekend.
We usually go there each year with her parents and brother and sister, and we were excited to take Hunter along for the first time, get him down to the beach.
Because it's our happy place, like it's my family, you know, same house every single year, it's our tradition.
As they soaked in the final day of their vacation, they had no idea what lay ahead for them.
There's a pier near where we stay, and I was like, I have to walk to the pier at least once. So we had just done that walk together, and then he got back, we hung out for a few minutes, and then I had left to go take care of Hunter. And Matt just stayed behind to hang out with my brother.
We went out for one more paddle, and we just decided Matt's usually in the front, and I'm usually in the back, and I just put us on a wave. I said, hey, you know, we went out chasing some dolphins, and we caught a wave to come back in, and as we were coming in, it pitched the kayak to the left, and I just remember being underwater, and I felt Matt on top of me. I rolled over on the beach, and it felt like I had gotten hit in the funny bone, but all the way down through my legs. I thought he was messing around for a split second. He said, Kyle, I can't move. Once we popped up out of the water, and I could tell by the urgency in his voice, I'll never forget it to the day I die. I remember the tone of his voice. Fortunately, Kyle helped pull me back the rest of the way because I was getting hit by waves. A lot of people came down to help us and really didn't know what to do. I was just in shock. I didn't know what was going on. I just wanted to be all right. I just wanted to get back and see Lindsay and Hunter.
I'd actually just gotten Hunter into the room and heard a knock on the door, and it was my dad. And my dad's like usually very joking, like very, you know, sarcastic. But you always know like when he's serious, and he had like that look in his eyes. I don't want to cry. But he just said, my brother Kyle called from the beach, and there was an accident, and Matt's been hurt.
I just got pulled out of the driveway where I work, and my cell phone rings, and it was Jack. And he said, what are you doing? And I said, I'm on my way home. And he said, I need to tell you something. And I could tell by the tone of his voice that something wasn't right. And he said, I just heard from Lindsay, and Matt's been in an accident, and he can't move his legs. At that point, I don't know how I got home.
Matt was airlifted to Norfolk Hospital, where he would undergo emergency surgery for a compression fracture of his T12 vertebrae. His family traveled through the night to be with him. Both families now anxiously waited on word of his condition.
We're waiting for the doctor to come out of the operating room, and he comes out and he said the operation went tremendous. And Lindsay said, well, will he walk? And he looked at us and he said, it's been my experience that people with this kind of injury never walk again.
I thought any minute, really, that I was waiting for my toes to wiggle and my legs to move. That's really, I keep thinking that now even. Like any second it could happen. I'm constantly trying to squeeze things, move things. In the long term, I still don't see myself being sitting in this chair. It's just a matter of time when I'm getting up, and that's kind of how my mindset's been since it all happened.
The whole way, he's still saying, I'm gonna walk. I don't know how, but I'm gonna walk. I believe him.
I first heard of Mike Barwis by watching Say Yes to the Dress, ironically. We saw of a girl who was in a car accident, car flipped and landed on her and burned her, but also paralyzed her, and she recovered and wanted to walk down the aisle one day, so she had gone to Mike Barwis and he had got her walking down the aisle. At the end of the show, it was, we saw go by the First Step Foundation, and as soon as I saw that, Lindsay and I looked at each other and started researching that and reading into Mike Barwis and Barwis methods, and it was like, it's hard to believe the guy was real.
Barwis Methods for the last 24 years has been training the elite athletes. For the last 7 years, it's become training the top athletes in the world and everything else that walks and talks, and some that don't. And at this point, our job is to help them so that they can. In 3 years, we've had over 50 people that they told would never walk again stand on their feet and take steps. That's pretty good.
We get on the phone with Mike Barwis. Mike Barwis says, when can you get out here? And Matt says, whenever you want me to get there. He said, March 23rd, be there.
It was during this time that Matt's friends and family began Hope for Helm, a campaign to help ease the financial burden of the Helms as Matt worked to walk again.
My brother and his wife, my best friend Vince, and his wife, and Lindsay's brother and his fiance, they all approached me about putting on a benefit for me, and I was reluctant to do any of that, and they basically said, we don't care, we're doing this for you. We all got together one night and started saying we have to have a benefit. We have to put something together, something that's going to be fun, something that's not going to be down or melancholy or anything, but something fun.
And I said, whatever you're going to do, you got to be committed to it. Once this kid gets back on his feet, you're going to keep doing stuff so that the Hope for Helm
And help
can
someone
help
else.
somebody else. You know, the whole deal is it takes a village. These villages came together like you wouldn't believe.
If it was me in that chair, Matt would be breaking down my door to help me, so he's that kind of guy that will just drive you absolutely insane until you say yes.
Matt has had an effect on so many people, and we didn't even know it. You know, and you talk to somebody that was at the benefit, I said, I hadn't seen you in years. Yeah, but Matt still texts me. Matt still emails me and blah, 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 and it's for Matt. That's why I'm here.
Hope for Helm aided Matt in keeping his promise to Mike Barwis. And on March 23rd, Matt arrived in Michigan with Lindsay, Hunter, and Finnegan by his side.
The thing I really like about here is how they treat you like an athlete again. And they don't treat you like a piece of glass. They want you to move over somewhere. They'll spot you if you need it, but They expect you to do it.
I provide an atmosphere unlike any other atmosphere you're ever going to find for athletes, and we include the paralyzed people in that atmosphere. I don't care if you're Brandon Graham coming off the edge to crush a quarterback, or if you're Matt Helm trying to take your first step. You both need positive reinforcement. You both need motivation. You both need cutting edge science, and you both need each other. Because when Brandon's struggling and he's tired and he looks across the room at Matt, he thinks, man, I'm not letting that dude down. Look at him, he's fighting, his son's sitting there. He wants to walk with his boy. It re-inspires Brandon. And when Matt Helm's idol is sitting there going as hard as he can and he's watching him struggle, he's like, I can get up and do this. They feed each other.
Anything can happen at any given moment, man, and your situation could just, your whole world could be turned upside down. And to see him coming to work just like me every day, people saying that the odds are against you on ever walking again or doing this again, I can fight for a guy like that. It takes a certain individual to be able to come back and look that pain in the face and say, you ain't gonna defeat me.
His old football coach told me that if you told Matt to go through a wall, he'd go through a wall. And it's paying off now, you know, because he's got this opportunity and he's gonna take every advantage and he'll just never quit.
I'd love to beat Hunter into walking. I want to walk before he does. He's giving me a run for my money right now, but I'm just taking one day at a time and see what kind of progress I can do each day, make each day. If it had to happen to a couple, it sounds weird, but there's no better couple that could handle it as well as they have.
You know, we're very lucky that it wasn't worse that Matt's around to be with his son, because I just can't imagine Hunter not knowing. So, sorry.
Everybody said he's always smiling, he's always so upbeat. I always say he carries the whole family.
He does.
I mean, obviously, he
does.
carries them.
Something's out there for him. Just don't know what it is yet.
A guy like that, with that much heart, that much fire, if you can help him and you don't, something's wrong with you, in my opinion. And seeing a guy like that's life change, and today him walk with crutches and braces 45 yards while his son watches and his wife watches, I mean, look, rings, they don't mean anything. That man's life, that means a lot.